U.S. is working hard to get back to the moon by 2025 with the Artemis space mission.
And China is vying to challenge the supremacy of the United States.
In the midst of the intense global competition to conquer the lunar frontier, every moment lost and every achievement gained represents significant milestones that can tip the scales in favor of one nation over another. China, steadily ascending in the ranks of spacefaring nations, has firmly established its position among the leaders in space exploration.
I don't want China to get to the South Pole first with humans and then say, this is ours. Stay out.
A recent setback in the United States space program has inadvertently propelled China to the forefront of this celestial race. Eyes now remain fixed on who reaches the moon with the next humans. Today's episode will cover China gaining a major lead after recent Artemis delays. This is Race to Space, and if you like watching content like this, consider subscribing. SpaceX, the pioneering private space exploration company, has raised concerns before a U.S. Senate subcommittee about bureaucratic red tape hampering America's lunar ambitions, a situation that might allow China to take the lead in the new space race. This potential setback revolves around the SpaceX Starship, a super heavy rocket crucial for the Artemis 3 mission to the moon. Bill Gerstenmaier, SpaceX's vice president of build and flight reliability, emphasized that SpaceX aims to use Starship to land American astronauts on the moon before China does, pursuant to their contract with NASA.
SpaceX is under contract with NASA to use Starship to land American astronauts on the moon before China does.
He underscored the need for multiple early test flights to validate the essential systems required for safely landing NASA astronauts on the lunar surface. As of now, however, the 121-meter-tall, 5,000-ton Starship remains grounded in Boca Chica, Texas, awaiting approval from the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, for its second launch attempt. Gerstenmaier emphasized that while safety is paramount, the space industry also depends on innovation and ensuring American leadership in space exploration. He believes that the United States is at a pivotal point in commercial space launch innovation, and this is particularly crucial in light of competition from countries like China. The delay is largely attributed to the FAA, the primary regulator of commercial space transport in the U.S. The agency is reportedly still scrutinizing data and environmental impacts from Starship's first flight test in April, which ended in an explosion due to engine failures. This protracted approval process for vital missions and environmental clearances is a growing concern within the space industry, given the fast-paced nature of technological advancements. SpaceX was chosen by NASA in 2021 to develop a lunar lander version of Starship as part of the Artemis 3 mission planned for late 2025. The Starship rocket is intended to facilitate the transportation of American astronauts between lunar orbit and the lunar surface. It will first deliver astronauts near the ice-rich south pole of the moon and later launch them back to lunar orbit for their return journey. Despite these regulatory and technical challenges, the United States remains slightly ahead of China in its preparations for a crewed moon landing. China's moon landing mission, which bears similarities to the Artemis 3 mission, only received approval from the Chinese government earlier in the same year and aims for a launch date before 2030. A substantial portion of China's rocket development efforts is still in its nascent stages as they work on a new generation of rockets for crewed flights to the moon and low Earth orbit. Zhang Ji, chief engineer of China's launch vehicle systems, highlighted China's efforts in this domain, describing one model with a liftoff thrust of over 2,600 tons and the capacity to transport 27 tons to lunar transfer orbit. Moreover, early preparations have begun in China, including astronaut selection and training, the development of lunar suits, and learning how to operate a rover on the lunar surface. Yang Liwei, the first Chinese astronaut in space, now serving as the deputy chief designer of China's manned spaceflight project, emphasized China's intent to explore deeper space and utilize extraterrestrial resources for the benefit of human society. The competitiveness in space exploration has been reinvigorated in recent years, with both the United States and China vying for supremacy in this emerging frontier. However, bureaucratic obstacles, like those encountered by SpaceX with the Starship program, can significantly impact a nation's ability to maintain its edge in this exciting race. SpaceX's concerns about the slow pace of regulatory approvals are particularly valid, as time is of the essence when it comes to space exploration. SpaceX's partnership with NASA to utilize the Starship for the Artemis 3 mission is emblematic of the collaborative efforts between the public and private sectors in advancing space exploration. The Artemis program, which aims to land the first woman and the next man on the moon, is of paramount importance for both scientific discovery and international prestige. Bill Gerstenmaier, in his testimony before the U.S. Senate Subcommittee on Space and Science, emphasized the urgency of the situation. He noted that SpaceX is undertaking a campaign requiring multiple test flights to mature and validate the critical systems necessary for safely landing NASA astronauts on the lunar surface. The Artemis 3 mission's success hinges on SpaceX's ability to achieve this goal. However, despite the company's preparedness and expertise, it remains tethered to the launch pad, awaiting FAA approval for its second launch attempt. As Mr. Gerstenmaier pointed out, the situation becomes more critical considering the strategic competition posed by state actors like China. While the U.S. grapples with regulatory approvals and environmental clearances, China is steadily advancing its own lunar ambitions. China's approach bears similarities to the U.S. Artemis program, as they aim to send astronauts to the moon and establish a lunar presence. China's development of a new generation of rockets for crewed lunar missions is well underway. Zhang Ji, chief engineer of China's launch vehicle systems, outlined their ambitious plans, including rockets with impressive liftoff thrust and payload capacities. Additionally, China is actively preparing for the selection and training of astronauts, developing lunar suits, and equipping astronauts with the skills needed to operate lunar rovers. China's lunar mission, approved in the same year as the U.S. Artemis program, is targeting a launch date before 2030. It's worth noting that space exploration is not merely a race to plant flags on the lunar surface. Both the United States and China recognize the broader significance of lunar exploration. Beyond the symbolic and scientific importance, there's a recognition that the moon can serve as a gateway to deeper space exploration and a source of valuable resources. China's former astronaut, Yang Liwei, who entered space 2 decades ago and now plays a crucial role in China's manned spaceflight project, articulated this perspective. Yang stated that landing on the moon is not the ultimate goal, but rather a stepping stone to deeper space exploration. The moon can potentially provide resources that are valuable for various applications, including supporting human society. This approach aligns with the broader vision of space exploration, which extends beyond national prestige and delves into the realms of scientific discovery and resource utilization. As space exploration continues to captivate the imagination of the world, it's essential that the regulatory framework keeps pace with the rapid advancements in technology and the aspirations of space visionaries. Clear and efficient regulations can ensure that the United States maintains its leadership in space exploration, upholding its historical role as a trailblazer in the final frontier. The moon, as a symbolic milestone and a potential resource treasure trove, awaits the endeavors of astronauts and scientists from around the world, ready to expand our understanding of the cosmos. With much about China gaining a major lead after recent Artemis delays covered, it is time to wrap this one up. If you have any topics in mind, comment below, and we will cover them for you. As always, subscribe to never miss out. This is Race to Space, and we will see you in the next one.